Hello again, beautiful people, and Happy New Year. I am here again with another video. Happy to share my 2025 journal setup. So what you're seeing here is my latest version of Purposefully Plan. And I have a version of this last year that I used for this channel, and I'm going to use this version for this coming year, obviously. And what I'm doing here is setting up the initial few pages. So if you did purchase my journal last year, you'll notice that there are a few pages that are different this year that I've added in. I'm improving it each year. I've already started editing this for 2026 as well, just because I've already got some new ideas and some feedback from people. So I love that this has become a living, breathing document. But at any rate, I'm filling in this little warm-up page that I call it here. It says, my intention with this journal is for you to express your creativity, so freely explore the empty spaces and utilize it to your heart's desire. There's no right way to express, only your way. So play with stickers, with washi tape, shading, mediums, markers, crayons, and most importantly, have fun. That's what this is all about. It's about fun and joy and keeping an open mind and heart. You're ever evolving, always growing, moving with the flow of life. So feel empowered to shift your goals and intentions as you shift with the seasons you find yourself in. So let's get warmed up. And it says, I'm a human being who loves my morning coffee ritual. This is truth. Times 2. I'm a solid 2-cup a day girl. And I love that. I'm a human being who is driven by setting a positive example. I feel that this is my way of contributing to the ripple effect. If I can just be the best version of myself, I'm hopeful that it will just inspire others to also step up to the best versions of themselves. I'm a human being who is inspired by my kiddos' love of adventure, who has a habit of staying up past 10 p.m., which, continues to be one of my goals. Or intentions rather, is a solid bedtime between 10 and 10:15. I love me a good 7 hours or 8 hours of sleep. I am a human being who is happiest when joyfully taking aligned action, who believes in the highest expression of humanity. I'm a human being who would give up if I'm doing something that no longer serves me. I'm a human being who will one day finish writing my book. You've heard it here first, and probably second, third, fourth, and fifth. Is afraid of nothing because there's lessons in all experiences, and who notices probably too much. Then for this next page, we have a New Year ritual. And this is a space where you can write a letter to yourself. You can there's multiple ways you can do this. I write a letter to myself that I'm just going to open a year later. And it's kind of a recap of what happened in 2024, what I want to remember, what I think I did well, what I think I could improve, whatever kind of things you want to put in this letter. Maybe it's just a hype letter to yourself that you're going to read. Maybe it's a future-paced letter that you are manifesting your hopes and dreams. However you want to do this, I just really encourage you to do it, because a year from now when you open it and read it when you're a completely different person, it's just such an interesting kind of look back in time and space. And then we have a space here for energy of the year or word of the year. And this year I chose initiatrix. And I chose this word because last year my word was creatrix, and I feel like I really leaned into that energy, and kind of at the end of 2024, I really started to push my clients a little bit harder than, let's say, I would have earlier on. And especially because many of my clients now I've had I've been coaching them for multiple years, that we're at a space where it's like, okay, like this is next level stuff. Let's go. And so there's just a little bit more of an initiation that I want to put my clients into, so they can make the choice to, take the next level of growth that they want. So it says here, initiatrix, to do, to be, to guide others to take aligned actions towards their most ceremonial and ritualistic way of abundant and joyful living. So not holding back and going all in. And this has a lot to do with shadow work as well, just in my opinion. This isn't just about doing or productivity. This is about going all in on discovering who you really are, what makes you tick, why you have so many thoughts that you do, and just knowing what's going to propel you forward. And then this next section here is the Wheel of the Year. And you can see that the video kind of just panned into my little candle over on the left, and my selenite, my celestite, and a rose quartz. And before I started recording this and before I drew my cards, I just created a little sacred space for myself and called in my spirit guides to help with the energy in the space. And then I drew the most beautiful Wheel of the Year with my Green Witch tarot cards, which I love using, not all the time. Daily, I would say I'm more of an oracle girl, and you'll know that if you've been watching my YouTube channel at all. I use oracle and I draw for my dailies. But for Wheel of the Year, I feel like tarot gives a little bit something extra. And so since recording this video, I have completely filled this in. So I put, January, I drew Lord of the Shadows. And so I wrote notes in as well. And the entire page is filled up with words. So it says, Lord of Shadows, a life in transition. With the obstacles being cleared away, it is from the cleansing that new optimism arises. The Luna moth flies gracefully from the shadows into the light. There are multiple ways that you can use this. Many, many years ago, before I was more into tarot and oracle, I would choose an affirmation for each month. Or I also have a goddess deck called the Divine Feminine, and it's just a very beautiful deck. And one year I actually just chose 12 different goddesses. So each month I was tuning into a goddess. I do that now just as an aside. I just like to do that in a different journal. I have like a goddess journal that I write in, and maybe it's just a word, maybe it's an energy, maybe it's a mantra. There's 12 different spaces here that you get to choose what to do with. So be creative and have fun with that. These are 2 other new pages that I added to the journal this year. So we've got past year reflections, where there's spaces for you to reflect on what you're super proud of, the 3 people that influenced you the most, the 3 people that you influenced the most, the best thing that you discovered about yourself is, and the thing that you are most grateful for. And then on the following page, we have the year ahead manifestations. And we're actually right on the edge of a new moon when I'm voice recording this and posting this. I'm hoping to post this on the last day of the year. So yay me if I did that. But the new moon was on December 30th. So we're still in the energy. And this is when I filled out my year ahead manifestations page and my goals page, knowing that we're in this really beautiful black moon. It's the second new moon of December. So it's a really powerful day to plan out your career, your ideas. You want to aim high, especially because this new moon is in Capricorn. So if you want to be a boss next year, set that intention. So in the year ahead manifestations, it says, I will love these 4 things about myself. And just this past weekend as well, I had 2 different journaling workshops with this exact journal, which were an absolute blast. And honestly, it was so humbling, and I have just so much gratitude for the women that showed up with my journal in hand. Like, it just was, wow, I created this thing and now people are using it. It just felt, that's something I'm super proud of. So anyways, at this event, some people were having a little bit of a difficult time answering some of these prompts. So I will love these 4 things about myself. They don't have to be material things. It doesn't have to be things about the way you look, but rather maybe how you intend to feel. So for example, I love that I feel grounded by the end of the day before I'm going to bed, right? So you can hear in that there's a bit of a manifestation, because there's a hope or an intention that whatever you're going to do in the day, you're going to wrap it up so you can feel solid and grounded, or perhaps in that sattva energy prior to going to lay your head to rest. I will love perhaps saying yes to more family adventures. I will love the dedication to my craft. I will love the compassion that I have for the mistakes that I make. I will love that my patience grows a little bit more every day with my young children. So you can see that they don't have to be something about, let's say, your physical body, because I know a lot of times that's the first place where people go, but rather you can tune into some energies that you want to feel. So just ponder that. And then it has a few other prompts here. I will let go of these 3 things. And even like the word let go, I wish I would have put in brackets or something. I will let be these 3 things, because I don't think we ever let anything go, but instead we accept and we choose to move on, right? We accept that the thing happened, we understand why we feel the way we do about it, and we carry on. But it's not like we really let them go. But at any rate, I will let go of these 3 things. I will prioritize achieving these 2 things. I will have the power to say no to these things, and I will dare to discover these 3 things. And again, the dare to discover piece is, what do you want to learn? What do you want to investigate? Is there something you've always wanted to read, or a language that you wanted to learn? Like something that you will dare to discover that is kind of out of your norm. And then moving on to our goals page, this top box here is to put in bullet point form a couple goals that you have for the year. These could be like bigger ones, because each month in this journal or in this planner, you can set an intention for the month. So there's always spaces for you to have your short-term goals. This one can be more of the long-term ideas you have in mind. And then there's further prompts here to really lean in and attune to who you need to be in order to hit these goals. So the first question says, who would you have to be to reach these goals? So you can think, what would I need to believe about myself? What would I need to do more of or less of? What challenges do you foresee, and how will you overcome them? And I would also include here who will help you overcome them, because it's always a good idea to have an accountability buddy. And then on the final page here, it says, why are these goals important to you? So write out the why for each one if you have multiple, because having a strong why is going to help you stay committed to the goal. I would also say too, I have a free download on my website, and I'll link my website in the notes, about easy goal setting. So this is the way that I like to set all of my goals. EASY is an acronym. It stands for expansive, aligned, specific, and yours. Because sometimes we create a goal that says, I want to exercise every day. And it's like, okay, well, what does that actually mean? Because we move our bodies every day. Does that count as exercise? Or I want to journal every day. Well, what does that mean? Does it mean you're writing 15 pages of notes? Does it mean you're writing down a couple words? Does it mean you've just opened your journal? You know, it's just the more specific you can be, the more accurate you can assess and reflect on whether or not you committed yourself and prioritized that goal for you. And then at the bottom of this page is a reading list, and there's 13 spaces here. I'm not an avid, I do love reading. I just do not prioritize reading every single day. So I will probably not get through 13 books in one year. Many people do, and that's wonderful. But for me, this is enough, and you can always add extra spaces if you need more. But when you're done reading the book, you can write the title in the spine and then color in the spine of the book, and it's just very satisfying. And flipping the page over to our vision board. I used to love making vision boards as a kid. I mean, I still love doing it as an adult too, but when I was a kid or a teenager, my vision boards were more pictures. You know, I'd find pictures in a magazine or online and print them off and cut everything out and make like a beautiful collage board. So you can think of that like this. You can completely cover these entire pages with pictures if that's what calls to you. Or you can bullet point the words in here, or make the words artsy and bubble letters and fun. Obviously, this is just a blank slate for you to do with what you want. And so for this, I broke it down into 8 different sections, because that's just another way that I hope to help you open your mind to the various aspects of what we can envision for ourselves. So personal life and family just being one of them. And then we've got habits that define you, physical health and fitness, mental health and self-awareness. And actually, I'll just scooch back to habits that define you, because some people in the workshop had questions about that one as well. And what I mean by habits that define you is a habit that defines me for 2025 is going to bed between 10 and 10:15, like I mentioned before. So if I can create that, if I put that on my vision board, manifest that in, and just be really aware, it's like, okay, bedtime's approaching, get yourself prepared and have a little meditation or drink some tea or whatever I need to do to bring in that sattva energy before I go to bed. So that will be one habit that defines me. Another habit that defines me is that I choose to be outdoors as much as possible, outside of working hours, outside of, or even inside of really poor winter weather. I think it's just really important to get fresh air wherever you are in the world. So prioritizing being outside every day, even if it's for 10 or 15 minutes. And then we move on to friends and community, creativity and hobbies, relaxation practices, and career and learning. So it kind of hits on multiple bases, but I have another journaling document that's a free download. So if you pop over to my website, it's purposefullyaligned.com. You can grab that free download, and that might help you actually tune into what it is you want to envision for this vision board or for 2025, because it has 6 questions on multiple topics. And so it will help you kind of tune in to who you are, what you're working towards, what you want to bring in, and maybe that could help bring this vision board to life. This is another setup that can be used in a multitude of ways. I personally like to use it to track days off, my husband's days off, the days that the kids are off of school, or essentially the days I know I get to be out of office and being present with my kiddos for the day. You can track birthdays. If you work shift work, it's a really good way to highlight the days you're on or the days that you're off. You can also, instead of writing all the numbers in here, you can draw little moons, and you can track your cycle, or you can track the moon. If you're into human design, maybe you can track the transits. There's so many ways that you can use a full view calendar like this. And then at the bottom, I have a legend that you can use to highlight what's what and what's where. And you can see my beautiful daughter Lennon come in here with her donut and wanting to take over the dot pen. So I love when they get involved in this process with me. They each have one of these journals as well, and sometimes we do it together, and sometimes I have some alone time where I get to be by myself and work in my journal. Either is welcome. I just love that they enjoy it, or seemingly enjoy it as much as I do. It's a fun thing that we do together. So thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end. I am very excited to be back with you in 2025. Wishing you the most abundant, joyful, and present year ahead. And we'll see you very soon.